All right, so Lev is not turning into a vampire. He just got a biting fetish, I guess. This is my thoughts on episode 10 of Irina, the Vampire Cosmonaut, so let's jump into it. So Lev and Irina having their celebration, well, technically it's supposed to be a celebration for him, or a good farewell to Irina, can't really decide. They go to some movies, which Irina gets way too into, and then eventually they have a nice little picnic on the side of the lake. Irina makes like a nice little cake for Lev, which ends up being really good. Apparently, Anya had to taste every single one of them because obviously Irina doesn't have any taste buds. But this is where we get this little moment. There's this very weird moment with Lev as he's watching Irina and eventually he gets fixated on her teeth. And yes, we apparently find out that Lev really wants to get bit again. He kind of trying to relive that experience that he had when Irina sucked his blood on his arm. He had a sensation obviously from it. It kind of gave us a fireworks effect that was indicated in that time period. And yes, now he wants to have it happen again, but on his neck instead. So he actually leans in on her, but to have her bite him, not to actually kiss. It's very weird, but at the same time, I guess that's just the sensation it's trying to enact. It's just this creates a sensation that he wants to experience once again. And as they're getting really close, really close, unfortunately the bus shows up and Irina reacts to it and says, you know, you don't want to be seen with me, and goes to leave. And it was nice here because this is a point where it's Lev no longer caring about that. He's technically never cared before, but again, he's reestablishing that, you know, I don't really care that people see us together, even though she believes that that's what he would want. No, you don't want to be seen with me. It was a cute little scene. The entire segment was really good. I mean, despite the fact that everybody believes that only Horimiya is the only romance anime this season or this year, technically, I think this one's doing really well with that whole aspect. I really do like the relationship they've built over time with Lev and Irina, and this is definitely solidified here. Despite the biting thing, it's a really good segment. But yes, the two of them are finally separated. Irina goes off to this base, and despite her saying that she's going to be working at this facility, it was a lie. She's technically is going there to be experimented on and examined, but she's not there to work. Lev, on the other hand, is going to, it's pretty much the same location where they're basically filming him and Mikhail to pre-film for this documentary to eventually show to the world about the two heroes. Whichever one will get chosen, obviously their footage will be shown, but they're really trying to choose a hero, somebody that will be the face of the country, and as they kind of put it, not that they lived in Laika, but that they lived in the homeland, like in the center of the capital. And so they're, again, as always, propaganda, painting it as if they've always been in this area and they are at the center of this country. That and the fact they can't really reveal the fact that Laika exists. And this is interesting because Harlova shows up, and so she starts talking big about how, you know, when you come back here, there's going to be 200,000 people here all to celebrate you. What do you think the face of this person should be? And of course Mikhail's like, it's got to be a hero, and Lev's like, it's got to be me, is what I like to say. But in actuality, I think that person has just got to be somebody that's special. And this is kind of echoed in what Harlova says, because Mikhail asked her, well, what do you think it should? She thinks it should be somebody that is a revolutionary, somebody that can actually change the world. And despite them kind of claiming that she could possibly be lying, this kind of is solidified as she's talking alone with Gergiev and mentions the idea that she wants to keep Irina around, because they choose who is going to be the first cosmonaut and then choose what they're going to do with Irina. And when it comes to the conversation about Irina, it's like, well, they just want to dispose of her because once the first human goes to space, they don't need her anymore. And she's like, but I want to keep her around. Why not sell her as a musician or a singer or an actress? Because the UK has those. Well, he doesn't like this idea, but she likes this idea of somebody creating a stir, somebody that will create a revolution, because she no longer likes this kind of setup. She mentions specifically the wanting to consume both the UK and the delivery crew. So it's bringing up the delivery crew again, which I believe they brought up was taken away by took away Lev's teacher, this group that kind of goes out and finds people that might be against the nation. And she believes Irina could be a weapon against that. So it really does seem like Harlova, at least, is really kind of trying to stir something behind the scenes, which I think either way I'm for. Like, I don't care that it's going to a revolution or whatever she wants, as long as it means that we get to keep Irina around. Who knows? Maybe we'll have Irina become a singer while Lev is out space flying and stuff. But yeah, we cut to a scene where we finally have, yes, they've decided the first cosmonaut will be Lev. Lev is going to be going up. Obviously, Mikhail is not liking this. He's very upset. He's like, you know, look, I scored higher than him, and everything. Why Lev? And the commander's like, it's probably a decision based on wanting a person that is a face that can make people smile. Or at least that's what he believes, but he doesn't really know. But either way, he still wants him to kind of stick around because he will be a backup for Lev, which that's the kind of person you stay away from. So the person that your backup is, you stay away from. But yeah, overall, solid episode. I think this episode, more than any of the other ones, is really hitting heavy on the romance between Lev and Irina. But also, despite that, a lot of the separation between the two of them, even having this moment where Irina sees Lev and goes to talk to him, and these guys show up out of nowhere and say, keep this girl on her collar, or keep her on a leash, or whatever. And Irina already, fearing being separated from Lev, as she's kind of imagining Anya as him. I literally, when Lev shows up and says, "Hey, Irina," and he looks over, and all of a sudden this Anya voice comes out of Lev. I was kind of like, okay, that was a little creepy. But no, it is hitting heavy on that romance, and I think it's going to be something that'll probably build up really solidly as it goes in the next 2 episodes. Obviously, Lev's going off into space. I just hope that we have a solid conclusion from that with the next 2 episodes. It was interesting to find out that the UK does employ vampires or deafeners, what they call them, as singers and actresses, because that was a thing I was kind of talking about previously as a way of saving Irina's life, was to have had her broadcast somehow by a spy to the entire world, and that the West would see that they were using vampires as test subjects and thus support her. And the thing that kind of had me in that belief system was we never have established if the vampires are seen negatively in the West as they do in the East. And so to see that they actually do have some that are actually singers and actresses in the West does make this feeling that they can at least bridge that gap. And as Harlova was kind of mentioning, creating that revolution. Harlova doesn't look like she cares for Irina, but at the same time, she doesn't have a hatred for her like a lot of other people do. But yeah, that's my thoughts on episode 10 of Irina the Vampire Cosmonaut. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like down below, comment, let me know what's thought of the episode, subscribe if you haven't already, share this video if you can, support us on Patreon if you can. We definitely appreciate everybody that does, and y'all take care.